This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I guess I fell asleep.
Don't mean nothing to me one way or another.
I won't bother you anymore.
I'm sure glad to hear that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for checking out another episode of The Buena Vista Boys. Today's movie is from the year 1960.
On the nose.
Yeah, right. And it doesn't really even feel like it, if that makes sense. This movie is Toby Tyler, which has an alternate title, 10 Weeks with a Circus. Now, like typically, when we watch these movies and I talk about them, and I always have a problem with how much time has elapsed within the movie. I'm fairly positive this movie doesn't take 10 weeks. It doesn't take the place over the span of 10 weeks. So I don't know where the 10 weeks came from, but it's not from, it wasn't provided to me on a silver platter. Like, this is now week 3.
Yeah.
This is now week 4.
Yeah. They didn't put in cards per week.
Yeah. That's what I want, man.
Yeah.
There's one point where they mentioned 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, so I can do that. But by my count, it should be 4 weeks with the circus, but that's just me.
Like in Clerks, what they just did, like the black screen and then the white, like the white letters.
Just give me something, man. Give me something. But this movie was, you know what? We can talk about it a little bit. It was pretty good for what it is. It's a light amuse-bouche of a movie. There's nothing really too heavy in there. I mean, it kind of gets a little heavy because you need drama in any kind of story, but the animals are cute. There's some cool stuff going on. And it wasn't bad. Did you like it?
Yeah. I found almost even the characters that were supposed to be like, skullduggerous. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even the bad characters I found charming. Like I found everything charming. A little bit like Babes in Toyland, a little bit like where again, that was like a whole movie of nothing. But everybody kind of had a little bit of charm to them. And even Toby Tyler, I think this movie would not have worked if Toby Tyler would have been real insufferable. But he's incredibly helpful, really nice. I think getting Kevin Corcoran, how do we say that?
I say Corcoran. I don't know, man. Yeah, there you go.
But anyway, like he can
reach out to us and tell us.
Yeah, he's that right kind of charming.
You know what? I have issues with Kevin. I don't think the kid can act, but at the same time, I think that's what it needed. He has that angelic sweetness that defaults from
that naive.
I don't know what I'm doing. Like I can't make my face work when I'm supposed to. And he's one of those kid actors that can pull it off. I think kid actors in general are kind of like just overacting constantly. Yeah. Because that's what they're doing. They're mimicking adults, and I get it, right? But Kevin does have, or I guess did have this sort of default mode, right? Where he was I'm just this sweet little kid. I don't really understand what's going on right now. It was very innocent. And it came very normal for him.
Yeah. They padded around him sort of like these helpful uncle characters. And I think that's really what did it, is like,
yeah.
It had that sort of thing where it's like they were, I don't know, people always get on Disney for like being like too soft or like you don't hit hard enough. And it's like, I think this is one of those moments where it worked for them. It's like, it was a pleasant movie to watch, even though it was supposed to be a kid running away from the circus. No one likes him. No one wants him. You know? I think it could have gotten way darker, and I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we were talking before we started the show, and we both sort of agreed that this is the like the Seinfeld of the 1960s, where it's a movie about nothing.
Yeah,
nothing happens. So I only have 10 clips to play, which I told myself beforehand. I was like, I shouldn't really say that because then it sounds like a negative. But to me, it's sort of like an example of how much there is to go through. You know, like in some other movies, we have more clips because there's more plot, there's more sustenance right here. But this, there's not a lot. There's a lot of training cuts, and it's like, okay, whatever. So, but the fact that you can enjoy a thing about nothing for the most part is pretty cool. They pulled it off. I don't want to sound like I don't like the movie. It was actually enjoyable. It was more enjoyable than the Ugly Dog movie.
Yeah, no, I think that's the point of, like, it's the simplicity of it. It has an end to get to, but what happens in between is very inconsequential, but it's like a pleasurable inconsequential. You're just basically meeting people. You're meeting people, you're seeing their talents, and there's like minor obstacles to get over. Not a big deal. And monkeys. Well, yeah. Specifically one monkey who is, in my opinion, the standout breakaway star of this entire movie. Yeah. He was the best. If this monkey didn't exist in this movie, it would have been a lot worse. Agreed.
And I mean that in a positive way, right? Like, everyone did fine. The supporting cast was amazing. The guy who plays Mr. Tupper, we'll talk about him in a second. Yeah. I think he was great. Just watching back again, pulling clips, which is where I sort of like get time to reflect about what this movie's about. It's just the way that he chooses his words and he adjusts his facial features to react to what he's saying and the environment around him. It is very, very classic, I don't know, 50s to 70s sort of, older gentleman acting, I guess, if you could say that. But he does it really effortlessly, and it shows, and it's very, very good. But if the monkey wasn't there, no, dude, I wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much. Without further ado, Matt, why don't we go run away to the circus together?
Let's do it. Get on that calliope.
I hope you get sick. I hope you get so sick that
you turn green. With great fanfare, we open the movie on a giant sign nailed to the wall of a barn. Colonel Sam Castle's Great American Circus. Free parade. That's what it says. Our little pal Kevin Cochran, as Toby, stares up at this sign dreamily. Off in the distance, an old man calls out for Toby. Maybe his dad, maybe his grandpa, who can tell?
Milkman.
Instead of heading back to the farm to get back to whatever terrible back-breaking labor kids did on the farms in the early 1800s, Toby makes for the hills, bolting through the wooden fence and off into town. I don't know if it was late 1800s or not. I'm guessing.
I think it's supposed to be.
They don't really say. Okay. Yeah. That's the vibe I got from the sign.
Yeah.
Old-timey writing, whatever.
I would say probably about 1888, somewhere around there.
June, Thursday. The credits roll as we settle on Main Street. A parade is in full swing and all the town is out, waving and cheering on the performers of the circus as they get ready for their big show. Toby rushes up through the crowd and gives his best open-mouthed stare at the lion that passes by in a cage. Now, these are all like on the big wheeled wagons, the giant wagon wheels and the wagons and the bars, the classic, what you think of.
Classic cartoon style.
Yeah, dude. Animal Crackers box. That's it. That's what we're looking at here, man.
Absolutely.
The monkeys are next, and as they howl and screech at Toby and probably everybody else, looking clearly in distress, Toby smirks, which I imagine is meant to be a smile of sorts. We have a small parade of elephants, 3 or 4 baby ones, and the mom bringing up the rear, all holding each other's tails. Super, super cute. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's really heartwarming. I don't know why. But they're little babies. They're so cute.
Yeah, man.
Camels, tigers, even a steam-powered calliope. Calliope? How do you say that?
It's calliope. And I love the calliope.
It was really cool, man. All waltz by, bringing us to the actual circus location. Now, the calliope was cool because like there's steam just spouting off. It was neat. It was very, very cool.
I don't even think I've ever seen a type of parade like that. Like parades like that have already gone by the time we were children.
Oh yeah. Well, now you need permits.
Yeah.
It sounds like, back then you just showed up. Hey, we're in town. Look at us. Now come.
That's what I thought was funny is I don't care what's going on. We're coming through.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. Funeral? Don't care.
Yep.
A title card pops up that reads, "Once upon a time, when the day the circus came to town was the biggest day of the year. That's all. And then, an ellipses. As if there's more. There's not. Our little pal Toby wanders through the circus, taking in the sights as townsfolk scurry into tents, buying lemonades and what have yous. Toby approaches a vendor selling peanuts and asks how many he can buy with a penny. 6 is the answer. The two get to chatting, and Toby fills us in on his family background, and then he gets groomed, all in one scene.
You swapped the ones back that are bad?
Bad? I don't vend bad peanuts in my establishment, boy. Maybe a little underbred, perhaps time-worn, but not really bad.
Tastes bad.
Here's 2 more. Run along. You'll miss the best part of the show.
Oh, I'm not going.
Not going? Ah, you like the price of a ticket.
Yes, sir.
I suppose your parents are bringing you tonight?
No, sir, I don't have any parents.
Orphan boy, eh? Wow. Have you ever thought of joining the circus, lad?
Me?
Imagine being a part of the glorious confraternity of the Big Top, that exalted company of artistes who travel the length and breadth of this great land of ours. How would you like that?
But what could I do?
You could become a concessionaire.
I could?
Concessionaire. Rolls out on the tongue mighty important, don't it, boy?
Yes, sir.
Free transportation, snug place to sleep, all you can eat, see the performance anytime you please, rub shoulders with the great and near great.
I'd like that better than anything else in the whole world.
You would, eh?
The only trouble is, Uncle Daniel and Aunt Olive need me.
Aunt and uncle?
They're awful poor, and there's lots of work for me to do around the farm.
I understand. It does you credit, my boy. I'm a loyal man myself, and I love to see it in others.
Well, I could ask them.
Don't bother giving it another thought. I'll just pick up a boy in the next town.
So that's Mr. Tupper. And we'll get to know him a little bit more later on. But this scene for me was hard to tell if he was the villain or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's like, why don't you come along? And you can tell when Toby goes, I don't have any parents. And he turns around and the look in his eyes is devious, right? And it's like, wow, like he just struck gold. He's like, all right. But then, he goes, don't worry about it, kid. You don't give it another thought. I'm sure, kind of trying to reverse psychology him. But then he goes, well, here's a ticket for free, to come back to the circus for free. Like, to me, it seemed over. Toby wasn't going to think about it again.
He's kind of an oddly complicated villain because he doesn't seem so over the top devious. Like, he has that initial quality to him where it's like, if he sees an opportunity, he's wormy enough to take it. But he's also like, it didn't work out. That's fine. That's like the feeling you get. But then as the movie kind of goes along, it's like you get more of his personality. And it is this slow burn of like, do I hate this guy? Is this guy a piece of shit? I can't tell.
We don't know, man.
You know what I do know?
Yeah.
The entire time they're talking, I cannot help but wonder where they got the water to make that pink lemonade.
Yes.
Because it's the 1800s and they go to a new town every couple of days. What is in that lemonade water? It's grossing me out.
Nothing good, man.
Yeah.
But I do not vend bad peanuts.
Yeah.
Tastes bad. Shut up, you little nerd. No one asked you. Go away.
Time worn.
Yeah, Time Worn is great, dude.
I'm going to start using that for a lot of stuff. It's fine. Yeah. It's just Time Worn.
Matt, we should really throw this out. It's old. Old? I wouldn't say it's old. Maybe a little Time Worn.
One thing I will say about Tupper is that he reminded me a lot of 1962 when they made The Music Man. The main guy who played Harold Hill, his name is Robert Preston. Mm-hmm. I think these guys have very similar fast talking huckster energy. So anybody out there who's a fan of The Music Man, I feel like they have very similar auras.
Nice. So there at the end, Mr. Tupper ends up giving Toby a free pass to the circus performance tonight. And Toby races home right into the clutches of his mean-assed Uncle Daniel.
For real.
Who proceeds to rip Toby into pieces. And it's just basically like the very next scene, but I had to play some of it because it is brutal, dude.
Did you know the hogs broke the fence down because you didn't feed them and rooted up the turnip field? Did you?
Toby, we counted on selling that crop. You know how we need money in the house.
You're a shiftless, ungrateful boy.
Daniel, don't be hard on him. Boys get skittish when a circus comes to town.
He don't have a right to behave like other boys. He's got no rights at all, and he knows why.
Don't say that to him.
I'm a poor man, yet I took you in out of decency's sake when no one else would have you.
Daniel.
I don't see why we didn't send you to the county home in the first place. You're no kin to us. You're nothing to us. Nothing but a millstone around our necks.
You don't mean that, Daniel.
You just go up to bed and stay there. There'll be no place at supper for you.
And he rips up the ticket to the circus.
Oof.
It's like, I understand you're mad, Daniel, but come.
That's one thing when he says, you ain't no kin to us, right?
Yeah.
So are they not uncle and aunt for real, or are they just some strangers?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, they really didn't make that clear, because I thought we were dealing with a family situation here.
I don't know, man. It's pretty wild. But Uncle Daniel's a jerk. And I get it. Like, look, if you didn't feed the hogs and then they uprooted the turnip field, which is how we make money, you're going to be busted, bro. Like, I get it. But that's a little too much, Daniel. Come on now. The
crazy thing, though, is like that Uncle Daniel reminds me, that character and his look and everything reminds me almost exactly like my Uncle Chuck, or not my uncle, my Grandpa Chuck. But he was super nice. He was the opposite of this guy. He was extremely nice.
You want a millstone for him?
No, but he sort of had that same sort of twang to him. Mm-hmm. That old farmer style of twang, which I find charming.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But no, he was a really good guy. He was amazing.
Nice. Night falls and the circus starts to pull up roots when we see Toby sauntering back over to Mr. Tupper to take the job. And honestly, I'm proud of him for following his dreams, especially after that last scene where it's like, okay, well, you don't want me here. I'm going to leave. Free labor's gone, bro.
The kid has a good head on his shoulders. He's like,
yeah,
I'm just going to stay here and take abuse from this horse-toothed old man. Absolutely not.
Right. Naturally, Toby changes his mind a couple of times after he not only gets his banana stolen by one of the chimps in a cage, but he gets shouted at by more than one grown-ass adult. But he ends up on top of the chimp wagon, riding shotgun alongside a Mr. Cotter. Ben Cotter. He starts off as a mean dude, but he ends up a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
I guess he was sort of just putting Toby through his paces, or kind of, that tough love. At least at this point, you don't really know. But so Toby accepts the job to work for Mr. Tupper. Now he's part of the circus.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's like everybody has like their own area in the circus. Ben is like maybe a strong man. He's got like the leather straps. I don't know what he does, to be honest, at this point. But he's like, I ain't gonna be no milksop for one of your boys. And I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out, especially from later on in the movie, but I think it's all just like a bunch of general contractors.
They
just tour together.
That's what I thought too. It's like the colonel, who I didn't even know was a real person necessarily. Right. Like, you think that's just, it's just called the colonel. Okay. Like, I didn't know he's like a real person yet. And it's like everybody has their own act. Everybody is a general contractor that have the option to work under this big top. So it's like Tupper and Toby are like, have nothing to do with Ben, like literally nothing to do at all.
Yeah. They're concessionaires, and Ben, later on we find out he's the strongman, but I guess he's also like the maintenance guy. I don't know. He does a lot of stuff.
He's a horse wrangler. He teaches ballet. I don't know. He's like a part-time clown. It's very, very weird. But he's like, can't tell Toby what to do necessarily. He's not his boss.
So morning breaks and the circus has stopped to set up camp. Toby is sleeping next to the chimp wagon, and he gets woken up because the chimp, which is the same one who stole his banana, is dropping little sticks on his head. It's just very funny. He's kind of like taunting him, like, hey, man, I stole your nana, dude. Get out of here. So Cotter takes Toby, or rather, Toby follows Cotter to a small pond to wash up. Toby looks at Cotter and tells him he's got a real bad attitude, to which Cotter replies, well, wait until Mr. Tupper finds you for work. Just then, Mr. Tupper comes flying over to where Toby is at the little pond, grabs him by the shirt, and pretty much drags his butt back over to the camp to start working.
Yeah, this I feel is where you cross the Rubicon into like, oh, this guy is a jerk.
What's the idea of making me chase all over camp for you?
Morning, Mr. Tupper. I was just washing up.
Not on my time you aren't. Come on. Come on. Along. Move along. Come on. Step along. Now look, we don't want to be wool gathering all over camp when there's work to be done now, do we? Now, let's move along, boy. Let's... Put me down!
No, Ben, it was my fault.
You keep out of this, boy. It's got nothing to do with you.
Take your dirty hands off of me.
Oh, I aim to, Mr. Tupper. I aim to. Now, I don't believe in coddling, Mr. Tupper, but I got my fill of you mistreating your helpers. It just don't sit well with me.
That boy works for me, and I'll do what I want with him.
Sure, Mr. Tupper, sure. You just tell him what you want him to do. If he don't do it, you can fire him. But if I ever catch you mistreating him again, well, I'm just liable to do something like this.
No, Ben, no!
As for you, you listen to Mr. Tupper. Work hard and do your job right. He's your employer, and you be respectful to him.
Yes, sir.
The whole scene, basically, Tupper grabs Toby, drags him around. Toby falls down. And then Ben Cotter is like, that's not going to fly, dude. And he goes over to Mr. Tupper, grabs him by the jacket and lifts him up by the jacket, gives him what for, then throws him in the pond.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny.
Well, and all I can think of is like the dude is in like 1800s layers. So he's got a sweater on. He's got like a wool shirt on. He's got wool pants on, shoes, socks, the whole deal. And like now, you know how hard that's going to be to get off your body now?
Hell yeah, dude. Ben tells Toby to work hard, listen to Mr. Tupper, and be respectful, then dismisses him to the cook hut to get breakfast. And you know what? The breakfast scene is rad because they are eating fantastically on the road. You get toast, nice ham steak, bunch of scramby eggs. Toby gets a plate full and sits down next to a blonde girl about his age. At the table, there's a plate full of brownies with powdered sugar on top of them, which I found really odd for it being, question o'clock in the morning.
Oh, they're circus folk.
Toby digs in, and this little turd of a boy walks up and starts harassing Toby, telling him he's sitting at the performer's table and he needs to leave. This kid is dressed like a mini adult. He has a satin bathrobe with an ascot, a real jerk. A nice older man sees Toby getting bullied and rescues him, not only inviting Toby to eat with his family, but implying to the boy, who's called Ajax, and then the girl Jeanette, that Toby is a performer, which is very nice of him to do. So far, Toby has the most amazing luck.
Yeah.
He keeps getting saved by this really nice people.
Yeah, it's like this is supposed to be a hard luck story about a runaway boy who's constantly abused. And yet around every corner is like the kindest individual to like be there to like sort of give him a satin blanket to lay on.
It sounds great to me, dude. I'll run away to the circus. Damn.
Right.
The man who saves him is called Sam Treat, and he's a circus clown who's holding 5 plates full of food. They walk together into Sam's tent, and he sets the plates down on a table there and shouts, "All right, kids, breakfast." And 5 dogs leap out of these colorful crates and wolf down the food as Toby sits there, mouth open in that signature way that he has. No emotion, just mouth agape.
Just waiting for a fly to land on his tongue.
Yeah. And then it's in this scene that Toby opens up to Sam a little bit and, tells everybody the same old sob story.
I ran away,
I never would have guessed.
It wasn't because they didn't want me, but they're awful poor, and I was a millstone around their necks.
Millstone, huh? That's pretty bad.
Sure is.
You figure you'll ever go back?
I guess not. Leastways not till I can earn enough money to bring home, to show them I'm not what they said I was.
You know, Papa Schultz used to say, happiness you should spend around, and it would come back even more so. Money you should save in something.
Who was Papa Schultz?
An old clown I used to know. I always wanted to make people happy the way he did. That's why I ran away with the circus.
You ran away too?
Papa gave me this pouch to save money in. He said, the circus is for elephants and Papa Schultz. Everybody else should take the money and go home.
But you didn't.
So that's Sam Treat. Nice dude. Super kind, clown. He's sitting there trying to put on some clown makeup, and he's having a real serious conversation with White Lip. But that's okay, dude.
Solid character. One of my favorites. Very solid, dependable character. Like, what I like about him is he doesn't come in all the time and save the day every time. Sometimes he holds back, but he's like that dependable character who is not in question of trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. So suddenly Toby remembers Mr. Tupper is waiting for him, and he bolts, leaving his breakfast behind uneaten. Well, he had a fork full of eggs. But what I was reminded of watching that clip, the dogs are getting pancakes, dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the gastrointestinal issues these animals have?
I don't know. They all looked like filthy mutts. I'm pretty sure they could eat bullets.
Yeah. Toby's first day on the job arrives, and he is strapped up with a tray around his neck, selling peanuts, popcorn, and candied apples. Of course, being like 9 years old or whatever, he gets distracted a couple of times by the different acts, the trapeze or the clowns, but he eventually, moves on. Until Jeanette and Ajax are announced. They enter, both riding horses, and Toby stands still again, watching the show. A man next to him says, "Sit down, boy," and Toby goes, "Oh, okay, thanks." And he has a seat next to the man. And I see this not going well for old Tobes.
No.
Mr. Tupper sees him and casually slides in next to him, catching Toby out. Not good. Although it was a funny scene because, Tupper's like, enjoying the show? He's like, yeah, it's really great, isn't it? He's like, yeah, okay. And then Toby looks around. He's like, oh, hey, I got him. We'll go to work now, brother.
Yeah, no, there was something in the way he delivered that line, though. It read so crazy to me because it was almost like a moment of humanity that Tupper was having where he's looking at the show and he sort of like sympathizes with Toby, why he would sit and watch it. He says like, great show, isn't it? And
there's like through the eyes of a child. He's like remembering. And
there's no sarcasm in it. And so it's a weird read because it's like he is trying to let him know, hey, you need to stand up and go sell these things. But it's almost like a moment where he really does get it. I see why you sat down to watch this. This is an amazing show. The circus is an amazing place.
That's interesting because I read it as he was just doing sarcasm bad. Like he's just like, oh, great show, right? And he was waiting to see if Toby caught him, and then he gave him the business. But he could have at least like glared at him like, good show, huh? But that would have been too direct and too obvious. So yeah, I don't know. I read it a little different.
It's almost I'm almost positive that it's the read that you had was what was supposed to be happening. But it's just like it's almost like the positivity in his voice. It was almost like he was taking a pause to really take it in and go like, this happens to all the boys at first, like, of course you're taken in by all my boys, magic,
all my many boys,
all my many mistreated boys.
That's right. He's the
killing more sidekicks than Batman.
He's the Taylor Swift of the circus world. After the show, Mr. Tupper's counting the money box, and he gives Toby a hard time and a life lesson. And as Mr. Tupper does, it's all in the same scene, you guys, which is incredible and appropriate.
$1, 30, 35, 40, 60, 65. What's that? Are you blithering greenhorn? Don't you know any better than to take a lead slug?
I'm sorry, Mr. Tupper. I don't know that much about money.
Oh, you don't? Oh, well, then I'll teach you. And here is lesson number 1. I'm going to replace this slug with a nickel from your first week's pay.
Yes, sir. What do I do with these?
Where did you get them?
They were left over. When I tried to give them back, they said, keep the change.
That, my lad, is what is known in circus parlance as a tip. Understand?
No?
Good. Now, there's an old circus custom that all tips belong to the head concessionaire. That's me.
Yes, sir.
However, if you report all your tips, I will split them with you. Thus, a dime for me and a nickel for you.
Thank you, sir.
But you must promise to keep our little arrangement a secret. You see, in the circus world, one must pretend to have a hard nature. I wouldn't want folks to think that I was a softie. Now get busy and clean up that mess.
And there's a few things here that I really like. This performance, again, by Mr. Tupper is really good. It's multifaceted. It comes at it from different angles. He's hot and cold at the same exact time sometimes. Yeah. And I think in the same breath. And I think it's brilliant. And, you know, the way that Kevin plays it where, and I had this question too when he got hired. And it's like, do you know that this kid knows money? Like, do you know if he knows how to give out change?
Yeah.
He's a farm boy. You know, what does he know about making change for a $2 bill or whatever? You know what I mean?
I mean, look at his face. Like he's
punchable.
He sometimes doesn't even have enough energy up there to like, you know, put thoughts together. Like, and you're just sending him out there and just expecting him to bring home correct money.
I'll split the tips with you. Well, I get a 10 cents and you get 5. I'm like, that's not splitting.
That body
brother,
work,
but...
I swear to God, you can't train someone. Like that's
so
all
good, dude.
When he goes, do you know what a tip is? No. Good. And he like looks behind him. It's like that. You cannot
so good, dude.
Time that any better.
Yeah, no, this man's been around the block a few times, dude. I love him. And see, and here's the other thing. Back to like the original, when we first met Mr. Tupper, we're like, is he bad? Is he good? Is he a jerk? Is he not? I don't know. And I still have the same questions in this scene where all he had to do is like, oh, those all go to the head concessionaire. So bring all those to me. And then he would go, okay. He doesn't have to share with Toby, but he does. So he's being kind, but he's kinder than he could be. But he's still ripping Toby off at the same time, which maybe that's the shtick of the character. That's why he's so slick, where it's like, I'm never going to take too much to get caught. I just want to get my beak wet.
Yeah, and I think that he's still feeling out how stupid Toby is. Like, I think he's had boys previously who could work out the situation with the tipping, right? Or they're like, I just won't say anything. I'll just keep it all. You know, but the fact that he knows nothing about this, he's like, if I give him a little, he'll never question it. If I let him keep it, you know, or if I take it all,
right,
he'll want to know why, you know? I can't wait to call my children blithering greenhorns like that. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Blithering greenhorn. So while Toby goes off to wash the lemonade glasses, he shifts the tray with all the candied apples and popcorn on it out of the way and inadvertently puts it just in an opposable thumb's reach of the chimp cart. That same chimp that stole his banana and woke him up reaches out while Toby is distracted doing his work and grabs a candied apple. Now, I am the world's biggest candied apple hater, so I think this is cruel and unusual punishment to have this animal eat one of these disgusting little enamel bombs on screen, but here we are. Despite the cart being maybe 5 steps away from Toby, he doesn't hear the chimp going ape, and soon the chimp is back at it, reaching for a second apple. But he overturns the whole tray in the process and then is finally able to pretty much grab whatever he wants. And as he does, a short edit later, Toby is done washing the glasses. The chimp takes an apple core and fires it at Toby, hitting the boy in the head, which then leads Toby to discover what had happened. And we see the inside of the chimp wagon cage, and the whole floor is covered in popcorn, empty bags of stuff. Yeah. Toby wishes sickness upon the little guy, and lo and behold, of course, the chimp gets sick. So this is where we see the chimp, who's, of course, like we said, is Mr. Stubbs, although he's not named yet.
Yeah.
He's a great little dude, man. I would love a chimp as a pet, as a best buddy, because just the way he's like reaching through the bar and grabbing the thing, he's like really trying. The scene went on a little bit too much, a little bit too long, but it's just cute to watch the chimps do. And he has like these cute little overalls on. He's just like a cute little boy.
It's weird to say this about a chimp, but he is a really good actor for a chimp. Like,
I thought you were going to say he's really attractive. I was like, oh, I thought he was kind of cute too.
He's a fun.
He's a cute guy.
But what I like about him is that the entire time, the way Mr. Stubbs is behaving, there feels like there's intention there.
Yeah.
Unlike a tiger walks, when it's just a walking tiger and you're like, this tiger doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't care. It feels like Mr. Stubbs knows what his character is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Totally.
He knows his motivation.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, Mr. Treat, who's, Sam Treat, the clown, right? He also knows how to take care of chimps, amongst all the other things he knows. It's crazy.
I thought that was weird. It's like, why are we taking this guy to a clown?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Like, what are we doing?
Well, it would have been hilarious if he had been in a white coat with his clown nose on, at least.
So he takes it to Mr. Treat, and Mr. Treat gives the little guy 2 spoonfuls of castor oil. And at this point, I'm wondering, how does Mr. Treat know this? Who is the wrangler, or who's in charge of the chimps? Shouldn't that person be there?
Yeah, and
instead of the clown, the circus is very wild. But what do I know? So Toby takes the chimp, and the wagon train pulls up stakes and heads off down the dusty road towards the next town, with the chimp, now named Mr. Stubbs, safely in Toby's arms. So Toby, the way he rides from town to town, he rides up on top of the chimp wagon with Ben, and Ben drives the chimp wagon for whatever reason. And so now Toby's just kind of back up there, but he's holding the chimp because he wants to take care of the chimp because the chimp is feeling bad, and Toby sort of feels bad because he thinks it's his fault. Right? He's like, I wish sickness on him.
And it's against the rules for Mr. Stubbs to be up on the top.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it's against the rules. Yes.
But yes, he does have an icky tum-tum. So
yes. Yeah. As the circus pulls into the next town to do their parade, the local kids start hucking packs of fireworks all over the wagon.
I love this.
On account of it being 4th of July. Of course, this pisses off just about every animal. And as one pack gets thrown on the top of the very wagon Toby and Ben are driving, it goes off and sends Mr. Stubbs leaping from Toby onto the horses that are tied to the wagon. This then makes the horses freak out, and eventually the wagon gets flipped over on its side, and the top hatch opens, freeing several other monkeys inside the wagon.
Yeah.
The colonel rides up, and Ben confesses it was his fault because he let Toby hold the chimp, which is against the rules. Ben is then promptly fired and is told to see the owner, who's the colonel, after tonight's performance. Then the push is on to collect all the escaped monkeys before they rip up the town. And I'm going, what do you mean after? Yeah. Come see me after the performance. You fired me. What do you mean to work? Get out of town, dude. No. So Toby hears gunshots as he's calling all over this little wooden town for Mr. Stubbs, and he learns that Mr. Stubbs has ran into the sheriff's office, grabbed his revolver, and started like shooting things.
Yeah.
So everyone leaves. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Dude, this is like Red Dead Ape-demption.
Yeah. Once the sheriff finds a rifle and threatens to shoot the chimp, Toby rushes in and talks Mr. Stubbs into handing over the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job, Toby.
And I love it too, because it's like the sheriff is like, well, he only got 6 shots. And then he gets through and Mr. Stubbs finds a second gun.
He finds a second loaded revolver in the desk. You're like, what are we doing here?
This is so cool.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah.
Nighttime, back at camp. Ben is dressed in his suit, carrying his suitcase. Sam Treat and Toby are waiting for him to kind of intercept him. So he's on the way to the colonel's barn, right?
It's over.
Where are you going?
Taking a walk? Free country. Where are you going?
Leaving.
Oh? Planning on buying that livery stable you've been thinking about?
Might.
Well, good luck.
Come in. Come in.
Why doesn't Ben just tell him it was my fault?
You know why Ben's so big? He's just plain stuffed with mulehead pride.
Well, Ben, it's been quite a day.
Those runaway monks fiascoed us into the best business we've done all season. Telegraph from our advance man in Kingsville says they've already sold out of blues for the performance there tomorrow. And listen to this. Monkeys capture Woodvale. Boy disarms gun-toting chimpanzee. Animals celebrate Independence Day by making break for freedom. That busted wagon was the best thing that ever happened to us. Why the get up? You trying to scare the animals?
I come by to pick up my pay, Colonel.
Your pay? What for?
You fired me today.
Oh, now, Ben, you know me. I was just letting off a little steam. Now, what's the sense of running my own show if I can't get sore at people now and then?
Now, I resonate with the Colonel because what is the point, Matt, of running my own show if I can't get sore at people? So from now on, every show's going to end with me verbally berating you, and then you have to call me up the next day, and then I have to play it off. Yeah, that's how it's going to go. I hope that's all right with you.
Kick me on the way in, kick me on the way out.
Yeah,
the hell's the point of having a co-host? You can't blame everything on him.
That's right.
No, I do love this guy, though. This Colonel is
Colonel's great.
He is every great like billionaire character in movies and stuff. Yeah, just do it. Yeah, you're fired. Nah, never mind. Hold on. You're not fired.
You're hired. I mean, wait a minute.
Double your salary.
So Ben got his job back, basically. That's what the Colonel's saying. And after the good news and the good press and the advanced ticket sales, Toby gets promoted by the Colonel, which I don't know if the Colonel would call it promotion, but Toby sure does.
Yeah.
Toby is now in charge of Mr. Stubbs. Yay, he gets a buddy. And I'm left wondering what this will mean to Mr. Tupper. But I don't think we have too long to wait, as Mr. Tupper addresses this in the very next scene. Mr. Tupper, who doesn't care what the Colonel says, insists upon Toby doing his chores no matter what. And as he leaves to run errands in town, Toby ties up Mr. Stubbs so he can get on with his chores. And this whole scene makes me want a chimp all to myself so very, very badly. Please, Santa, thank you. Toby is bringing water to the big top tent where Jeanette and Ajax are rehearsing their acrobatic horse riding thing. Ajax tries to get a rise out of Toby, but he's like too chill and really could care less. Like he's very, very zen or incredibly sedated. And I couldn't really tell what's going on. And like any bully, this makes Ajax kind of upsetty. So he goes on to his horse and he starts doing some tricks as Toby is chatting up Jeanette with stories of the horse he had back at the farm. And I do have this kind of entire clip, and it wasn't as long as I thought, but it's pretty good.
Well, if it isn't the great peanut salesman, the death-defying daredevil of the lemonade stand.
Stop it, Ajax. We haven't seen you around lately. Well, Mr. Tupper kind of keeps me going.
Oh, sure. He's got an important job, chasing flies away from the lemonade.
Don't mind him, Toby. Well, I don't. Next to Mr. Tupper, he's kind of friendly. That sure is a pretty horse.
You like horses? What would a peanut seller know about horses? Hey, Jeanette, watch this.
Oh, I do know something about horses. It so happens I have a horse of my own.
Toby, really?
Name's Old Red. Of course, he isn't really old. That's just his name.
Is he a gaited horse?
Gated?
You know, what gate does he favor most?
Oh, I guess he favors most the gate that leads down to the pasture. Lots of sweet clover down there.
Toby, you're joking. Hey, Jeanette! Look at me!
Hey, that's pretty good.
Don't look at him. He thinks whenever he's out in that ring, the whole world has to stop and watch him. Tell me some more about Old Red. Can he jump?
Hey, Jeanette!
Ajax, you know what the Colonel said about practicing without the belt?
Who cares? Just keep watching.
Ajax! Ajax, get away from me.
So yeah, Ajax is full of like, look over here, and he takes off the safety harness. So what's happening in the scene is the horse is like going around the little kind of like ring, you know, the 3-ring circus, it's the middle ring or whatever. And the kids are doing their tricks on the horse, but they're attached to a safety harness. And Ajax takes his safety harness off. He tries to do a flip or whatever, and he ends up falling off the horse and folding backwards like a cheap newspaper. The whole circus somehow knows about the fall, and everyone rushes in to help get him up and over to the doctor. But what was kind of impressive to me is like these kids are doing these stunts. Like when you watch this movie, Ajax does this flip and then he stunt falls off the horse into this weird folded position with his leg bent back. Like it looks real.
Yeah, he does incredible. The stunt.
Yeah, he does the stunt, but like it looks like an accident. It looks like it hurt for real, but it couldn't. And I couldn't imagine doing, even if you're a professional, you're a child. I'm not gonna have you jump off the back of the horse and land funny. That's weird, but they did.
This is 1960. Like, I mean, I don't think they gave a shit about how he felt when he was done. Like, as long as they got the shot.
Yeah. The Colonel, Ben, and Sam discuss what happened. And basically what happens is the Colonel says that Ajax, I almost forgot his name, that Ajax is like out for a while. He's out of commission and they need a partner for Jeanette. And what one of them says was, oh, I think Jeanette says like, oh, Toby can ride a horse. Like, that's fine. And Toby's like, what? Yeah. What? And Colonel's like, great, Ben, get him into riding shape in 2 weeks. And Toby's like, but I he can't really say anything about it. Colonel's like, all right, you're the new guy. Start training.
Well, you're a kid about the same size who saw a horse once. Perfect.
Yeah. You know how to spell it basically, right? There's a W. All right. So from that scene, we fade into Mr. Tupper complaining to the Colonel, saying that Toby was the best boy he'd ever found, and he wants some kind of compensation for giving him up.
I'm sick of this boy language.
I know. Tupper does his best weasel impression and is able to squeeze the Colonel for an extra $20 a week as a finder's fee for Toby, as long as Toby is doing his little horse performance. Yep. Good money if you can get it. I mean, I'd take that right now, you know?
Yeah.
So the bond between Tupper and Toby has been broken officially, and this leads into Toby having a nice heart-to-heart with Ben atop the wagon as the circus pushes ahead into the night. So this is where the 2 weeks come in, because the Colonel at one point says we have 2 weeks to get Toby ready because that's when we're going to be in the next town, and that's what I want him. That's when I want him ready. So that's the only mention of time in this 10 weeks with the circus that we have. So Toby tells Ben, he admits to Ben that he can't ride a horse, and Ben tells him that he knows. The two talk about when Toby is planning on leaving for home, since Toby has all the money stashed away in his little sack. And Toby tells Ben that next to Mr. Stubbs and Sam, he's one of his best friends. That's very sweet, and Ben is clearly touched by that. Time passes, and I don't know by how much, but it does, and Toby and Mr. Stubbs are curled up on top of the wagon. Mr. Stubbs gets mischievous. He wakes up and he's like, oh, I want to be a chimp for a second, and decides to pull out the little sack of money that Toby has in his pocket. And this scene made me really sad for Toby, because Mr. Stubbs opens the bag and starts pulling out the coins and throwing them over the side of the moving wagon, and eventually just dumps the entire bag out over the side into the dirt. And nobody behind them sees this, by the way, because you can see Mr. Stubbs and you can see the wagons behind them. Nobody sees. Anyway, whatever.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't stop anyway. They don't give a shit.
You're like, yeah, whatever, dude.
They don't care. Like, we're going to stop this whole train.
Yeah. Morning breaks and it's time for Toby to wake up. He sees the empty bag and immediately starts assaulting Mr. Stubbs. Now, this bit made me sad and uncomfortable for the chimp and the boy, to be honest. It's like we talked about in some of the other movies. You can tell when animals are sort of being mistreated, you know? And this looks like that.
Well, it's twofold, because animals don't know when they're in movies, which is always kind of hilarious, to think about.
Yeah,
An animal has no idea it's in a movie.
Right.
And then on top of that, you have Toby like grabbing Mr. Stubbs by his shirt coat, yelling at him like he can talk. Like, where's my money? Where's my money, you little ape?
I'm going to play the clip right now because it's wild. But Ben comes over and practices some sort of tough love / reverse psychology. And I realize I'm still kind of confused as to Ben's character, because again, it's another adult that is sort of playing both sides with Toby. Mm-hmm. And he's just kind of like Mr. Tupper, but not as nefarious. But it's still very confusing. Sam is the only one that I understand his character. He's like the grandpa, but everybody else I just don't really get. But here's that scene.
Mr. Stubbs, what'd you do with my money? Tell me! Tell me, Mr. Stubbs, tell me!
What's the trouble?
Ben, Mr. Stubbs threw for?
Why, the ornery, thieving little chimp.
Why'd you do it, Mr. Stubbs?
Take it easy, Toby.
That's what I get for making a friend out of him.
Near as I can remember, Colonel Castle said he was your responsibility. You took him on, didn't you? Nobody made you do it.
No.
Well, then don't go blaming the chimp.
But, Ben, all my money, my savings, it's gone.
You think money is your only problem? That's easy. Here, take what I've got. There's enough to get you home and some left over. Go on, take it and get out of here before you get in any deeper. You mean you don't want to run away? You want to go on taking care of this ungrateful little chimp? You want to go out in the practice ring today and work off some of that trouble you've lied yourself into? All right. See, you're in that ring at 11 sharp this morning. And don't think it's going to be fun.
I mean, look at that. I wanted a chimp to hug me. That's so cool and nice. It's like having a little toddler that can just rip your face off at the same time.
Is it wrong that when he came down and hugged him, I was like, oh, that reminds me of hugging my little boy. He's just as furry.
Yeah, and so in that scene, right, like Toby's like shaking Mr. Stubbs by the hands or by the arms, like grabbing him. And at one point, Mr. Stubbs pulls his arm out and like hits Toby's hand.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for the thing, but he was a great actor, man. I love Mr.
And it's
Stubbs.
like, and then he goes, tell me, Mr. Stubbs. And it's like, what the hell do you mean tell you?
Yeah,
tell
dude.
you what? What is he going to say? And then when Mr. Stubbs walks over and sits on the box and crosses his arms.
Yeah.
That's he needs an Oscar.
And he pouted, like he was pouting. It was so good.
Pouting.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
So the next morning, Toby is in the practice ring and Mr. Stubbs is tied up nearby, watching Toby absolutely struggle with this whole acrobat thing. He's on the rope rig, of course, like the other kids were, that lets him ride the horse and then kind of fall all he wants. But instead of falling, he just like floats like he's on a wire, right? And this poor horse, Toby is grabbing its tail, trying to pull himself back up, falling on the horse's neck, grabbing his ears. And this thing is just a trooper, dude, running around in a circle, not stopping, just going and let this little kid absolutely go ham on him. Yeah. Toby, he's not good at this. Toby is not good, but he's learning. Like you see him kind of get it a little bit in the shot, and that's a positive. And it was really, I was like, yay. And then I was like, that's Toby. That is Kevin Cochran. He's doing the stunts. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. So that same day, it's mail day, apparently, and everyone is gathered around to collect their mail. Mr. Tupper's walking by and he hears the guy who's handing out the mail, that he has mail for Toby. And Mr. Tupper tells the guy that he'll take Toby's letter for him. But instead of delivering it, Tupper runs back to his booth and cuts it open and reads Toby's mail. And I guess he's wondering who even knew to write him or how, but anyway, it's from his aunt telling him that his Uncle Daniel is sick and can't do the chores around the farm anymore. Mr. Tupper hides the letter from Toby when he comes around and keeps this a secret. In the next scene, I get my question answered because Toby is writing a letter to his aunt and uncle as Ben shaves his face next to him. Toby is peppering Ben with all sorts of questions, and with each one, Ben looks more and more irritated, and I have never felt so close to a character than I did watching Ben react to Toby right here in this scene. Just very, very subtle, and with each question, it's growing a little less subtle. Like, what, dude? Like, what do you want? Stop asking me questions. Like the other morning, my kid's like, I'm trying to read her story. She goes, Dad, yes, honey. Can I ask you a question? Yes, honey. When people have piercings up here, and she grabs her eyebrow, she goes, how do they put it on? Because there's no back on it, like your ear. We're literally reading a story. What are you asking these questions for? But you go through the whole thing, and
dude, that's
you still got to tell her. Yeah.
When kids go to bed, that's when they get their most existential, like.
Yeah, and I read a thing about this actually, and it's because that's when they realize how safe and comfortable they are, and that's their bonding moment with the parent. It's like that's them reaching out, so I look at it that way. That's very beautiful. We fast forward 2 weeks, to Toby's big debut. He's in his dressing room telling Sam that his costume is awful and doesn't fit too well. And it does kind of look like a burlap sack or like a page from, 1400s England. But Sam says he has the right kind of magic to fix it and tells Toby to close his eyes. And we get a little nice scene here.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. I got the magic. I got the right kind of magic. Close the eyes. When keep them closed, tight. Now then, how does it go again? Oh yes, needles and pins. When you press through the change, the magic commences. Open the eyes.
Surprise!
Good luck, Toby. Monsieur Toby, in a few moments, you will make your debut as a featured performer in Colonel Castle's Great American Circus.
But I...
Shh. And we, your fellow performers, not wishing to see the luster of this occasion dimmed in any way, especially from a sartorial point of view,
What?
or as Papa Schultz might say, when you go in front of the people, you should never wear this ridiculous, the baggy pants. You shouldn't do it.
Good luck, Toby. Thanks.
And here's the rest of it, Toby.
You have just about 3 minutes to get dressed, Monsieur Toby.
So he gets this lovely little blue costume. Jeanette, holds it up for him and then gives him a little kiss, and his eyes roll deep in the back of his head as this happens. And then, it's a cute scene. It's very nice.
It is very nice. I like that they added a bunch of people that you'd never seen in the rest of the movie. I don't know where they've been.
Yeah. It's nice. It was like, okay, we'll just pile everybody in here. Apparently he has 3 minutes to put the costume on. And I just wrote ha 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 in my notes because you have 3 minutes to put on this costume that you've never worn before. You couldn't have done this 20 minutes ago, you guys. Come on now. What's going on? So as Toby runs over to the lemonade stand to get his shoes, Mr. Stubbs chases after him somehow. So Mr. Stubbs is in that last scene. He's sitting there folding his arms. And then when all the ladies are giving him kisses on the cheeks, he's closing his eyes and going, but he has a rope around his neck. And so, as he always does, he pulls the rope off and then he goes and just hangs out with Toby.
That's whatever he wants.
Toby's buddy. Yeah. So he follows Toby sitting down in a chair next to him, and he starts rummaging through the coat that's over the back of the chair as Toby's rummaging through looking for his shoes. He pulls out a handful of letters and throws them on the ground. And as Toby picks them up, he sees they're all for him. His aunt and uncle have been writing. Ben finds him and ushers him back to the tent before he can read any of the letters, though. So not only is, Toby's world collapsing because his aunt and uncle did write, it's probably really confused. He has to then go and perform for the first time. That's a lot of pressure. Toby and Jeanette do their whole routine, and Toby does an amazing job. So much so that even a few times Mr. Tupper stopped wandering through the crowd selling lemonade to watch Toby. Everyone, the Colonel, Ben, Sam, even Jeanette, were all smiles for the kid, and it was kind of heartwarming. After leaving the big top, Toby rushes back to read his letters, and he finds out that Uncle Daniel is sick. He tells Mr. Stubbs that he has to go home, and he's leaving now before anybody tries to stop him. We cut away to Ben doing his act, which is a strongman deal where he lifts 2 donkeys like a weightlifter. There's one donkey on either side of this rod. And he just lifts them up onto a scale. It's
nice
weird.
Canto moment.
Yeah, it's a whole weird scene, man. But we come back to Toby now, and he's out of his costume, and he's pinning a note to the mirror. A heartfelt goodbye to Mr. Stubbs, and Toby wanders off into the woods. Now, Mr. Stubbs unties himself and runs in that really awkwardly cute way chimps and toddlers have of running, and he chases after Toby. Mr. Tupper finds the note and hatches his own plan to get Toby back. But, and again, I don't know why Mr. Tupper cares. Oh, I guess because he's getting an extra $20. Yeah. So if Toby runs away, he doesn't get the $20.
Yeah. Oh no, it's all comes down to money.
Yeah. So the next day, Tupper drives into town, or, in the horse cart or whatever, and calls the sheriff of a nearby town saying, be on the lookout for Toby, and that he's stolen a valuable chimp from the circus. Even though he saw Mr. Stubbs amble out of the tent all by himself, he's still just, making the story up. Turns out Mr. Stubbs is the one who ends up finding Toby sleeping under a bridge like some kind of talented troll. Mr. Stubbs wakes Toby up the same way he did the first time by tossing these little sticks at his head. Toby is shocked to find him, but then he has a great idea to take him home back to his house, back to the farm. And then he would write to the colonel and tell him where Mr. Stubbs is. Yeah, sure. That's a solid idea, right? So the pair is walking down the road when a hunter flushes Mr. Stubbs up into a tree. His dog is barking and the hunter takes aim at the movement in the tree, not knowing it's a chimpanzee, right? He fires and Mr. Stubbs falls out of the tree and drops to the ground. Toby starts crying. The hunter is sorry, and in comes Mr. friggin' Tupper.
Yeah, this scene did get me.
Yeah.
This is really did. They did a good job.
Oh, Mr. Stubbs. Don't leave me, Mr. Stubbs.
Well, now, Toby, that's too bad. That's really too bad. You see now, Toby? If you hadn't run away, this terrible thing wouldn't have happened. It's your fault.
My fault?
Surely you see that. Mr. Stubbs would be alive and well if you hadn't run off. Come on, let's go back.
I want Mr. Stubbs.
Now look! Now look, Toby. Mr. Stubbs is dead, and there's nothing you can do to change that. So, come on. Maybe the colonel will give you another pet.
No, I won't leave him.
Come on. Just a minute. It wasn't the boy's fault, it was mine. That's quite all right, young fellow. Accidents will happen. The important thing is we found the lad safe and sound.
Mr. Tupper takes Toby by the collar and hauls him over to the coach, leaving the hunter and the body of Mr. Stubbs behind, which I thought, so this is where Mr. Tupper's character apexes, right? He's not only gaslighting Toby, being a super ass about it, and then leaves the body of the chimp of Toby's best friend just in the field somewhere. Like, there you go. Or not in the field, but like a forest or whatever. Super wild, man.
And downplaying the whole thing. Oh, maybe they'll give you another pet.
Yeah, another pet. Like, geez, thanks, dude.
This is Tupper's final form.
Yeah. And as the hunter goes back to pick up his rifle, where he put it down at the site of where Mr. Stubbs fell, he sees that Mr. Stubbs is gone. So the chimp isn't dead.
Real happy.
I know, right? Mr. Tupper drives back to camp in the wagon, and as soon as he stops, Toby leaps off his seat and runs to the colonel's wagon hut thing, only to find his aunt and uncle. They all embrace and apologize to Toby, but outside, Mr. Tupper has secured the wagon and is about to steamroll himself into the colonel's place, but he's corralled by Ben. Ben yells at him for stealing Toby's letters and warns Tupper to stay away from the boy. Then he dumps him in the horse trough for good measure. We fade into Toby in his acrobat outfit, showing his aunt and uncle around the circus. Ben approaches and tells him to go run a message to Sam Treat. When Toby arrives, he finds the hunter who shot Mr. Stubbs, the dog who flushed him out of the brush to begin with, and he also finds Mr. Stubbs. He's alive! Yay! Now it's showtime. Toby and Jeanette are doing their act. Mr. Tupper has a new boy to take over Toby's job selling candied apples and peanuts. They are fresh roasted, you know. And again, I just feel bad for these horses, man. Toby and Jeanette are both standing on the horses' backs, then dropping to their knees multiple times. Like, I get that horses are strong, but come on, dude. It can't be comfortable. Toby jumps through a hoop of fire, which I thought was pretty neat. Like, they lit this hoop, and I'm like, there's no way they're having the actor actually. No, he actually did that.
Yeah, they have no regard.
And then we cut back to Mr. Stubbs, who's tied up with a rope around his neck. Never mind, this chimp has escaped this exact literal setup multiple times that we've seen. He runs out to catch Toby's act, of which there are more segments suddenly. The last one consists of a platform mounted to the back of the horse, and Toby sitting on a chair as the horse runs the ring. Suddenly, Mr. Stubbs leaps onto Toby's neck and rides Toby as he's riding the horse. The crowd loves it, and the colonel tells Ben that this is the new act. Mr. Tupper seems depressed that Toby has done so well for himself, and as Toby, Jeanette, and Mr. Stubbs run out of the ring, the credits roll, and we leave the circus for good, Matt.
That was a long 10 weeks.
That was a long 10 weeks, of which I know of only 2. I was unaware that there were more weeks than that, but what do I know, dude?
I've learned nothing about selling lemonade.
No. Anyway, folks, that's Toby Tyler, or 10 Weeks with a Circus. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and Matt has a whole bunch of goodies to talk to us about. I'm very curious about literally everything about this movie. So hang on a second. We'll be right back. It's the Buena Vista Boys.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Welcome to Only Murders in the Building,
the official podcast.
Join me, Michael Cyril Creighton, as we go behind the scenes with some of the amazing actors, writers, and crew from season 5.
The audience should never stop suspecting anything.
How can you not be funny crawling around on a coffin? No, that's true.
Catch Only Murders in the Building official podcast, now streaming wherever you get your podcasts. And watch Only Murders in the Building, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Gentlemen's agreement. Some solemn things there is. Understand? All right, now you stay here and stay out of trouble. I'll be right back.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for waiting around. We are going to throw it to Matt here, and Matt's going to give us what I imagine are going to be spectacularly circusy facts here. Matt, take it away.
I now realize they're not nearly as circusy as I would have liked them to be. My section is called Toby Tyler's Big Top Tomfoolery and Tupper's Tip-Taking Trivia.
Wow. You were bored earlier today, weren't you?
Thank you. Well, like we said, I want to preface that, as we said, this movie is sort of, it's nice. It's a nice movie, but it's sort of a big bowl of nothing. And so when you go and you sort of like look up like fun facts about it and things like that, there's really not much to it. It was a movie that was made. People kind of enjoyed it. So
yes,
I didn't want to just like fill this up with general circus trivia. I probably should have. I think it might have been better.
No,
but
dude, not at all.
This is about the movie itself. So basically what I did is I turned inward and I looked at a lot of the people who made this movie, a lot of the actors, a lot of Disney legends. So let's begin, and we'll talk about some of the great people who worked on Toby Tyler. It might not be the best movie ever, but they did get like the best people.
Yes.
And I think that's why it ended up being so good. Toby Tyler in 10 Weeks with a Circus was released January 21st, 1960. Like right at the beginning of the year.
Hell
it
yeah,
opened
dude.
the 60s. And it was directed by Charles Barton. Yes, that Charles Barton. Director of 1934's Wagon Wheel, 1940's Babes for Sale.
Oh,
1940.
Hey, whoa. We're working blue here with Charles.
1943, What's Buzzin', Cousin?
Which is a follow-up to Babes for Sale. No one knows that, really.
These names are awesome. Then, surprisingly, 1948's Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, whose credits include television shows like McHale's Navy, The Munsters, Dennis the Menace, and Family Affair, starring everyone's favorite frustrated tiger chaser, Brian Keith. Not to mention the Buena Vista Boys classics, the one that started it all, The Shaggy Dog. Also working on Spin and Marty and Zorro. Toby Tyler is a bit of a Marvel style crossover, mixing his like Moochie verse with Kevin Cochran with the Zorro verse of Henry Calvin, Ben, and Gene Sheldon, Sam Treat. These are two worlds that are apart, but these guys are all working together, and now they've finally sort of morphed in this movie, and they've come and created an Avenger-style crossover.
Nice.
This movie marks the first film team-up of Henry Calvin and Gene Sheldon, as I talked about. We previously discussed these two rapscallions in our Babes in Toyland episode. They played Barnaby Barnacle's blithering, dubious, dim-witted henchmen, Gonzorgo and Rodrigo. Babes in Toyland would mark the final production for Walt Disney that these two had worked on together. But they had worked on Zorro for a long time as Sergeant Demetrio Lopez Garcia and Bernardo, respectively. I don't know why, but like Gene Shelton only gets like a one or two named character in these movies. But so I thought that was kind of cool. Like these actors who had all been kind of working separately, but together, like finally had one focused movie that they were all in. It was really cool. Kevin Cochran, Toby Tyler, was covered in detail in episodes The Shaggy Dog and Tiger Walks. So go check out those shows. They are a hoot. But to discuss his career in brief, Kevin Cochran rose to fame as Disney child actor in the late 1950s and in the early 60s. Best known for playing various Moochie characters, as well as major roles like Old Yeller, Swiss Family Robinson, Pollyanna. He often portrayed mischievous, animal-loving boys and also voiced characters in the Disney animated shorts. Before largely retiring from acting after the mid-60s, as an adult, Cochran built a successful career behind the camera as an assistant director and producer for Disney films and television, as well as series like Murder, She Wrote and Quantum Leap.
Hell yeah, dude.
Kevin was honored as a Disney legend in October 9th, 2006. Among the other recipients at the 2006 ceremony were the two lead actors in Spin and Marty, which Cochran was also in, Tim Considine. Yeah. No, that's not right. Tim Considine and David Stoller. And also Cochran's frequent co-star, Tommy Kirk.
Nice.
Like I said, this is the whole Marvel universe.
Hell yeah, dude.
Barbara Beard, Mademoiselle Jeanette, was the voice of Raleigh in the 101 Dalmatians. I couldn't find any information about that actress like going on and like doing more acrobatic work or anything. There was really not anything there. But that was the one other piece of Disney trivia that I thought was really like interesting, is that she was in 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah. Classic.
Same thing with Dennis Oliveri, Monsieur Ajax.
Uh-huh.
He kind of had a mediocre TV and movie career. He was in Gidget, Family Affair, Leave It to Beaver. My favorite role I found out that he was in, because I thought I recognized his face, even though when I saw him, he was older. Mm-hmm. He plays a stuttering student character in this movie called Forbidden Zone. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but it's this very out there, outrageous movie made by Danny Elfman from Oingo Boingo, his older brother. Oh, so wow. If anybody out there is like an Oingo Boingo fan, find Forbidden Zone. I can't even explain it to you. It's insane. It's just an insane movie.
All right.
Made on no budget. It's hilarious.
Nice.
Bob Sweeney, who played Harry Tupper, the tip-stealing peanut pusher. Eagle-eyed Buena Vista Boys fans will remember him as Senator Henry Maguire from Moon Pilot. I think he's that senator that they were making fun of right at the beginning.
Right.
Or they like needed to make like a senator's handbook or something. And around this time in 1960, Sweeney pivoted to directing from acting. So he acted on and off till like 1991, but you can see in his IMDb from like 1960, his directing credits just escalated, where he like would act from time to time. And it's crazy what a amazing director he became. He directed 80 episodes of The Andy Griffith Show, multiple episodes of That Girl, Doris Day, Hogan's Heroes, Hawaii Five-0, and more.
Wow. Those are some good gigs, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that. He seemed like a nice character actor, but you know, it's so strange what other talents all these people have. It's just, you never know. You just never know how somebody, could be a good actor, but it's like they also can have those really talented director chops.
Yeah.
some Disney and Disney park greats and Buena Vista Boys alumni worked on this film. Right off the top, I noticed that composer Buddy Baker of Grim Grinning Ghosts talent is composed the music for this movie.
Nice.
This honored Disney legend is a Buena Vista Boys favorite because he composed the music for Tiger Walk, Treasure of Matacumbe, and Hot Lead and Cold Feet. His credits also include Summer Magic, one of my favorites, The Monkey's Uncle, The $1 Million Duck, and 1953's Wicked Woman.
Ooh, all right.
I know.
Okay.
This movie sounded so cool. I had to actually put in the description of this film.
Okay.
Drifting floozy Billy Nash gets a bar job where she seduces the owner's husband by convincing him to defraud his drunkard wife in order to elope together to Mexico.
Hell yeah.
But a sleazy neighbor with designs on Billy jeopardizes her plans.
I mean, sounds good, man. Let's go. Let's get after it. That movie, it sounds like it could be remade every 10 years and still be exquisite.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, Baker served as the musical director for Epcot. At Epcot, he worked on Universe of Energy, American Adventure, World of Motion, Wonders of China, Kitchen Cabaret, Impressions de France, and Listening to the Land. He retired in 1983 as the last staff composer at any major studio.
Damn.
I know he held it out. He became a Disney legend in 1998, not 1989, as previously stated by me in a different episode. I've waited almost an entire year to right that wrong.
Nice, dude.
So another thing that popped out to me is the name UB Iwerks being on here for special effects.
Yes, absolutely. Me too.
I just don't associate UB Iwerks with special effects. And that is very wrong-headed of me because apparently that was kind of his jam.
That was his thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Surprised me because I associate UB with animation and his work in the parks. But I was not aware of how much special and visual effect work he has done. 7 special effects credits for movies like The Reluctant Dragon, Harry, Pollyanna, and The 3 Lives of Thomasina. His visual effects bona fides are even more robust. The Adventures of Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, The Living Desert, 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Sleeping Beauty, and he did special photographic effects for The Parent Trap. I mean, it's way bigger than that, but that's what I thought most people would recognize.
Yeah, I feel like he just moved up from animation. You know, I mean, once you design Mickey Mouse, you're kind of just like, that's it,
right?
What else do you do?
I know
like,
that's it.
Now I'm going to retire. Retired champion of animation. Everybody, retired champion. I'm going to move on to special effects. I'm out of here.
I did it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna create things that no one's ever made that makes me amazing.
Yeah,
because he developed a new apparatus and process for the photography and optical compositing necessary to combine live action and animated characters in films such as The Three Caballeros, Song of the South, and Mary Poppins. I'm just out here building new apparatuses.
You got to do it, man. Someone's got to do it. Might as well be UB.
I know. For Mary Poppins, UB Iwerks modified the Technicolor camera that was used to mix live action and animation, also known as the sodium vapor process.
Hell yes, dude.
Right?
I love the sodium vapor. I love that phrase.
I know. And
it sounds like a Tolkien book from the 70s. It's like the sodium vapor process.
This is what drives me crazy about, like, whenever I hear Imagineering stories, right?
Yeah.
Just like dudes who just like, we're like, oh, I was asked to, rebuild this car engine to run on water, and I previously had worked in furniture building, but Walt said, can you get it to me in 2 weeks? And I said, I'll try, Walt.
Yeah. I have it done already somehow.
And there
it
is.
This is the thing, especially those old timers. My reference point for this is the Firehouse 5+2 or whatever it is, the Dixieland Jazz Band that the Imagineers just did in the parks for fun.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You're playing at a professional musician's level while you're also animating or doing whatever you're doing. Like you had more time there was no social media. It was hardly really TV. You know what I mean? You had time to do other stuff, to explore other nonsense. So it's just a matter of like hiring people who had talent in the thing that they put in the position they filled, but also what else can you do? I'm going to hold on to what else you can do until we get you locked into something else, which is pretty wild to me.
Yeah. Well, it's just like some of these guys, like it's crazy because it's like Iwerks had already sort of like mastered animation. Like I think Walt Disney said he was like one of the greatest animators that he'd ever known.
Yeah.
And so it's like that's one thing you can be good at. Cool. Like you're great at animation. Awesome. But then it's like for him to then go on and just be like, yeah, I popped open this Technicolor camera and just fiddled with this process to make it better.
Yeah.
Like, some people are literally just good at one thing, but these guys are out there just.
They were experts in their field, so they know what needed to be done, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it is crazy.
Like, listen to this. So this camera had a prism installed to separate the sodium vapor lights from the rest of the color. Okay, you've already lost me.
Yeah.
Iwerks, Petro Valos, and Wadsworth E. Pohl received an Academy Award in 1965 for its use in Mary Poppins. Alfred Hitchcock went to Walt Disney asking to borrow to help make the film The Birds. In 1964, was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Effects, Special Visual Effects, but lost to the film Cleopatra. I mean, damn, dude. Damn. Just stuff like this drives me. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, remember that story about how the Imagineers were like smarter than the guys at Ford when they were making the Ford Skyway? Like there's a great stories about how the Imagineers were coming in and they were like trying to they're actually teaching the Ford engineers how to build the thing that the Ford guys were supposed to be building.
Oh yeah.
It's great. It's a good story to look up. It's very interesting. It's like, it just kind of tells you how fantastic and multifaceted the Imagineer guys were. And probably still are. Probably a lot of them still.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, I reminisce too long. So Iwerks, for me, what I find interesting is he was the animator and background artist and the layout artist for the skeleton dance. You know that every year you get a GIF from somebody with the 4 skeletons dancing. Yeah, that was Ub. And in that same cartoon, Walt does the voice of the dog.
Nice, dude.
And Ub became a Disney legend in 1989.
Hell yeah.
That one is real. That was a real 1989.
For sure.
Alice Davis was one of the 3 costume designers for this movie. Alice Davis was wife to Imagineer Mark Davis and designed costumes for various Disneyland attractions, including It's a Small World and Pirates of the Caribbean. This is the only movie that she is credited in costume designing, which is kind of surprises me. Like,
it's cool.
She costumed all of these other things. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't use her in a movie again.
Right.
Peter Allen Shaw, who is a Buena Vista Boy favorite, supplied matte paintings for this, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Treasure Island, Old Yeller, Swiss Family Robinson, The Black Hole, and my personal favorite, Dick Tracy.
I love that movie.
All the way up in 1990. You can learn more about Peter's son, Harrison Allen Shaw, in our Watcher in the Woods episode from season 1.
That's right.
And these guys, just a talented family, deeply talented family. Toby Tyler was first a novel of the same name by James Otis Kaler. It was initially serialized in Harper's Young People in 1877.
Young people everywhere. Read Young People.
I got to pick up my copy of Harper's Young People today when I'm in town. Then published as a book in 1981. It became something of a classic among American children who dreamed of running away to join the circus and remained popular for generations. It was Kaler's first book and also his best known and most successful. There was a sequel, Mr. Stubbs' Brother, which was published in 1883.
No,
Yeah.
Mr. Stubbs' Brother.
Oh, I bet that book was good.
Oh, I bet it was so good.
Right? I was looking on Wikipedia and I was learning a little bit more about the book to see, like, you know, if there was a lot of differences between the book and the movie. And there are, in the fact that it's like, you know, you're making a movie in the 1960s from a book from the 1880s. You know, so obviously the cruelty of Mr. Tupper is going to be a little bit worse. You know, there's going to be some things that aren't so soft as this movie.
Yes.
But essentially it's the same story. And I found out that Toby Tyler, the book, is a bad boy novel. This is not my words. And it's meant to teach a lesson about what happens to boys who do bad things. And other examples include George W. Peck's Bad Boys, 1883.
What was the lesson? What did Toby learn? Nothing.
No, well, that's what I'm wondering, how the book was different, like truly different. Because
oh, I see. Okay.
Because maybe there was something a little bit more savage that happens in the book that like tries to teach you. Because you're right. From this movie,
Toby did nothing wrong.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He did absolutely nothing wrong.
Every boy should run away because it apparently goes very well for you.
Yes, absolutely. You have to knee drop a horse, but other than that, you're good. Dude. You get a pet monkey. It's a whole thing.
I know. But then there's Thomas Bailey Aldrich's The Story of a Bad Boy from
Jesus,
1870.
Dude. My goodness.
Right? But apparently, so Mark Twain's Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, 1876 and 1884 respectively, are also part of this bad boy category.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
I guess I could. Okay. Yeah. Seems a little weird to boil down a classic like Tom Sawyer into the bad boy novel category, but I suppose it is, right? I mean, but he was a bad boy.
Yes, exactly.
Him and Huck Finn were bad dudes, you know?
Most readers do not remember Toby Tyler for its wholesome message, but as a romantic story of running away to the circus and adventures on the road. The book was influential with some famous bad boys.
Oh, yeah.
A young Carl Sandburg thought Toby Tyler was one of his favorite books, even better than Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Sci-fi writer Harlan Ellison credited it as influencing his decision to run off to the circus. So there's at least one true life example that is.
There you go,
we were
man.
Discussing how many people actually run off to the circus. Not very many in real life, but Harlan Ellison is one.
Yeah.
And then William S. Burroughs also wrote about this book in his journals, which is crazy because I've actually never heard of this novel ever.
No, never. Absolutely not. Well, we're not bad boys.
I am the nicest of boy.
We're the goodest boys ever, dude. Yeah, we're not bad boys. Mainly because there's no circus in town. If there was a circus that came through my town, I'm on it. I'm on it.
I'm out.
I'll sell lemonade all day long if I can cuddle a chimp at night.
Yeah, I am taking the first monkey wagon out of this town.
Absolutely, bro. Let's go.
Oh, this I thought was really interesting. The story of Toby Tyler was actually first adapted into a silent film in 1923 titled Circus Days. This movie starred then famous child actor Jackie Coogan, and who was discovered by Charlie Chaplin and cast alongside Chaplin in The Kid in 1921. Coogan would go on to play the iconic Uncle Fester on the Addams Family TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Huge fan. I love his Uncle Fester. It's Christopher Lloyd's Uncle Fester is very good, but Jackie
good, but
Coogan's
it's not the same,
is,
dude.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
I wanted to call this out because there were so many animals in this movie and all the animal trainers go uncredited. So this is the one area where I can make good and let everyone know the names of all the people who helped train these animals. So Robert E. Blair, Ted Derby, Ralph Heffler, Gene Holter, Frank Inn, Juanita Inn, Mel Kuntz, Frank Lamping, Glenn H. Randall Sr. and Corky Randall.
There you go.
So they each had like their own sections, like Gene, Frank, Juanita, they all did lions and chimpanzees and horses. Glenn and Corky, they were horse wranglers. It's interesting because like you don't see that many animals in the movie, but you don't think about how many horses and dogs and like chimps and like backup animals they have to have waiting. You wouldn't think you'd need this many people, but even for the amount of animals that we saw, like that, you don't think about all the animals you're not seeing,
right?
Yeah. It's like even to see the tiger and the lion, like how long were they on set? Who had to watch them? And so it's way more people than you think to like put this kind of stuff together. And I thought this was really interesting. So Ted Derby, Ralph Helfer, Gene Holter, Frank Inn, and Juanita Inn all worked together on the Twilight Zone episode, season 1, episode 36, A World of His Own. And they were all there to wrangle one elephant.
Jeez, dude. Well, I mean, that I could see though. Elephants are pretty big.
Yeah. And in the episode, the elephant is like wished into existence and it only exists for like 3 minutes of screen time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long they had to have it on set, but
yeah,
it's just funny. Like all these people for 3 minutes. And in some of our other episodes, we talk about Ralph Helfer. Like Ralph is a industry legend for wrangling animals in TV and movies. So if you go back and do some of our first season stuff, we touch on Ralph a lot. Thought this was really interesting. Glenn H. Randall Sr. is the father of Corky Randall and Glenn H. Randall Jr. And Randall Jr. is a stuntman with like a 40-year career in movies like Indiana Jones 1 and 2, Empire Strike Back, Ben-Hur, multiple Planet of the Apes films, E.T., Poltergeist. And the cool thing is that he worked with his brother and his father on the movie Black Stallion. His brother and father were wrangling the horses and he was doing the stunts.
Nice, dude.
Right. And then he worked with his father in Ben-Hur because they were both, his father was a wrangler on Ben-Hur because they had all those horses and everything.
Hell yeah.
I just thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Jess Kirkpatrick, the sheriff in this movie, right? Who's going to shoot Mr. Stubbs.
Yeah.
He has 179 acting credits, mostly in television. None of them episodes of The Twilight Zone.
No, we don't like him then.
But William Shaley, who's the jailbird in that same jail, was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone.
There we go.
He's in season 3, episode 7, The Grave, 1961, and in season 4, episode 5, called The Mute, which I think would be 1964, something like that. And so my only last bit of fact here that I thought was kind of interesting, and if somebody else had to point it out, I didn't know this, which is good for the movie. There's an editing error where when Toby first sits down and is selling concessions at the circus, right? And he's a sit down, fella. And so he sits and he's watching Mademoiselle Jeanette and Mademoiselle Ajax. There's a point where Ajax is performing this acrobatic horse routine. And later it shows Jeanette and Ajax in different costumes. And it's because that shot is a later scene where Toby is performing. And so Toby is watching himself perform on set. And it's like, I didn't even notice it. And then I had to go back and watch it again. And yeah, it's the blue suit from the end of the movie.
I remember this thing now, and I just didn't pay it any mind because I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now, dude. Yeah. So that's funny. That's cool. I mean, yeah, you can get very existential with that, I suppose.
It was so silly. Like you could almost play it off as like Toby's having a vision of like what he wants to be.
Absolutely.
In the future.
Yeah. It feels like very David Fincher for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought that was so crazy because it went right by me. I didn't notice at all. And then once you see it, you're like, oh, this is an entirely different colored outfit, totally different body shape of this kid.
Yeah.
It was wild. But overall, great movie. I love doing this show because when we get into like the facts and people who've been in the movies and all this amazing stuff about all these different movies, I love seeing how many crossovers there are. Like, I mean, there is an whole era of Buena Vista where all of the same people were working on like all the same stuff. It's wild. Like you could just do a big serial killer's red string board of where every single person somewhere touches somewhere else. It's super fun.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Okay, well, that's cool, dude. I love it. Do you happen to have anything? I don't know if this was out there, but on Kevin Cochran's training for this?
No, I could not find anything in particular about what he had to go through.
Yeah, because that to me was the most, not the most, but it was the top 3 most interesting things about this movie. Is that you had the lead actor who was probably 10 or 12 doing, what do they call it? Resin riding or resin back riding or something like that. Resin foot, resin slipper or something like that. Where there's no saddle and they're doing acrobatic tricks. He jumped through a fire hoop on the back of a horse and then landed on the horse again. Like, this kid's 12. How long it's amazing to me that he did that. But I could also see how that's lost to time too, you know?
No, yeah. I mean, that is one of the problems that I find with like a lot of these older movies is that it's like, I mean, unless you get find a specific article or something, a lot of people just aren't keeping notes on the creation of these movies. You know, they're just getting them out there.
I find a lot of the information from I don't know, more recent, maybe last 20 years, where the older actors are starting to give interviews on, you know, podcasts and stuff like that. That's where I hear a lot of these or get a lot of these stories from. But, you know, if you pass away too soon or you're uninterested or you didn't just miss that boat or didn't want to do it, then your story's likely not really going to get out.
Yeah, no, I find that to be the same thing. It's like every so often on this show, we've sort of been able to find like these golden nuggets, you know, like somebody will have like archived like, you know, an old, like I remember we did a show where somebody had like archived an old like Disney, like early Disney magazine with like a great article in it that pertained to the movie we were covering. And I was like, but I combed the desert and
I bet
I could not find nearly as much as I would have liked to on this movie or anything pertaining to this movie we've previously covered in detail because a lot of, like I said, there's a ton of crossover.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good job, Matt. Good job, dude.
What's our next movie?
Almost Angels is the next movie. 1962.
All right.
And I don't know anything about it, and I'm a little nervous.
I know. I don't know anything about it either.
But I will say I was nervous about this movie, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, dude, this looks like another Bad Boys movie.
Yes, there we go. We're in our Bad Boy era, folks.
Oh, boy, it literally says on the poster here, boys will be boys.
These sound like steamy films. These sound like stag films. You know what I mean?
No.
Love it.
This is going to be rad.
Dude, you know what? That's a great podcast idea, is to review old stag films. No, review old stag films, dude. Oh. You know what I mean? Just all these like terrible. Yeah, that'd be good. That's so good, dude. Anyway, thank you very much for hanging out with us here on the Buena Vista Boys. Matt and I really do appreciate it. If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/earsup and subscribe for $5 a month, and you get a whole range of shows. There's like 6 other shows on the Ears Up Podcast Network, and you get a secret show that we do on the main show all the time. And then every once in a while, Matt and I are planning on doing more Buena Vista shows. So if you just want this kind of content, we have one episode up already. It's the Patreon only episode of Popeye the Slayer Man, which was fantastic to do.
Awesome.
And we're planning on doing more too. But, even if you don't want to listen to anything extra, it really does help us pay the bills. I mean, we have a lot of shows that we host, and, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of website material. So It costs a lot of money. So we really do appreciate any sort of support that you can throw our way as well. Anything else, we have a website, earsup-podcast.com, and you can check Matt out over at where, Matt? Tell people where they can get him.
Well, I am over at Shelter from Oblivion, and
there you go.
We have taken a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm excited because we're about to get back in the saddle. Andy and I are going to have a guest on, and we are going to be reviewing pumpkin spice things.
Okay, I love it.
It's going to be awesome.
It's great because that's like because your whole deal is like the nostalgia from like the 80s and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But,
so we're going to kind of talk about the history of pumpkin spicing.
Well, yeah, but so what I think this is, it's kind of like the new nostalgia. Because once the pumpkin spice wave kind of crests in 20 years, people are going to be, remember when we used to just pumpkin spice everything? Right. So it'll be kind of like you're kind of getting ahead of the curve. I like that.
Yeah, no, and it's going to be rad because we're picking some things that are obvious because we want to have a reason to just eat them and not feel bad about it.
Yes.
And then we're picking some things that are just, you question why these were spiced. These should not have been spiced. These
the best
benefit
part is
from the pumpkining.
The best part is it's a tax write-off, bro.
I know.
Anyway, we're going to get out of here, folks. Thanks a lot very much again. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.